When this family came to the United States to escape the violence in their own country, they never imagined that they would lose their son in the most horrible way. This is a disturbing case of teens that committed machete murder, but what they did afterward will totally shock you. Jose Amaya-Guardado was born in the small country of El Salvador in Central America to his parents, Lucia Guardado and Santos Amaya. He was the youngest of 6 siblings and was described as a quiet, peaceful, and shy boy who kept to himself and never bothered anyone. In 2006, El Salvador was experiencing a lot of gang violence and murders, so Lucia and Santos decided to move their family to the United States, hoping to get a better and peaceful life there. Sadly, that was far from what they got. According to Jose's parents, Jose wanted to learn how to be a mechanic, and so they enrolled him in the Homestead Job Corps. Job Corps is a free education and vocational training program run by the U.S. Department of Labor that helps underprivileged youth between the age of 16 and 24 years old improve the quality of their lives by empowering them to get great jobs and become independent. Homestead Job Corps is one of several Job Corps centers in the U.S. and aims at helping students get high school diplomas, along with teaching them career technical skills such as construction, manufacturing, and office admission. It is located in a remote area in Miami-Dade and surrounded by wooded areas, with small roads leading into the woods. Jose was living on the campus in the center, where he would attend classes on weekdays, and then on weekends he would go to the flea market to sell ice cream and support his family. While at the center, Jose became roommates with a boy called Kahim Arbello, who happened to be a suspected narcotics dealer. He was also in a group of friends that included Jonathan Lucas, Christian Colon, Joseph Michael Cabrera, and his girlfriend Desiree Strickland, who were all known bullies around the school. So, probably due to Jose's quiet and shy nature, he became an easy target for the group, which started harassing him and taking money from him. On July 28, 2015, Jose asked for permission to leave the campus to go buy some food in town. That would be the last time that anyone ever heard from him. At 6 p.m., Jose's parents received the dreaded call from the school, informing them that their son had not returned to the campus. Immediately, the parents knew that something was wrong and went to the cops to report him missing. But the police could not do anything until the 72 hours were over, and so it was up to the family to search for their kid alone. For days, they desperately searched the area in hopes of finding him. One of the family members would later describe those few days of frantic searching, saying, "Days of desperation and without rest, no answers and no help. Nobody knew about him." Then, after 2 nights of looking, the family, without the help of the police, decided to go around the school and search in the wooded areas. And that's when Jose's brother, Fredis Amaya-Guardado, noticed something horrifying. Just behind the school, there was a patch that looked like someone had burned something there. When he moved closer to check, he saw 2 feet sticking out from the ground and recognized the socks as those of Jose's. Can you imagine how traumatizing that must have been? It's something that would stay with him forever. Every day, every night, every time I'm working, I cannot think about it. Every time I pass by there, I cannot stop looking back where I found him. The cops arrived at around midnight and discovered and removed the body, which was unrecognizable and decomposed. By this time, Jose's family was going crazy with grief, hoping it was not Jose. But the following day, the police informed them that it was indeed Jose's body. The medical examiner's office determined the cause of death was trauma, and it was ruled as a homicide. The family was beyond themselves with grief, imagining the pain that Jose must have gone through during his final moments. His mom, Lucia, was totally devastated. She could not believe the irony of it all, saying that she had brought her son to the United States for safety, yet he died in the most violent way. "I brought my son from there because they were killing people. I never imagined they would do something like that to my son here." Jose's cousin, Ana Morales, set up a GoFundMe page to help the family with funeral expenses, and in it, she explained the horrible way in which Jose died, saying he had many wounds and was still alive when buried. He was 17 years old. He could not defend himself. A crime is bad, but what Jose suffered was horrible. The family was asking for $5,000, but within a few days, they had raised over $7,500, with someone even donating $600. In the meantime, the Miami Police Department was working around the clock to find the people behind the monstrous crime. And it did not take long for Kahim and his crew to be arrested. During their investigation, police found out that Kahim and his friends had been planning the attack for 2 weeks before they actually went ahead with it. They had even dug a grave in advance and hidden a machete in the woods. And the motive, you ask? Jose allegedly owed Kahim $200. On that day, the group of 5 lured Jose into the woods where they ambushed him and struck him repeatedly with. And as if that was not enough, this group of psychos then went ahead and buried Jose alive, where he took his last breaths. What an awful way to go, right? Can you imagine what must have been going through his mind at that time? I really don't get how anyone could be capable of taking another person's life. After they were done, these sick and twisted monsters then tried to hide the evidence by burning their own clothes and Jose's belongings. Then get this, while Jonathan, Christian, and Joseph returned to campus, Kahim and Desiree remained behind, and they decided to do it near Jose's buried remains. That's really messed up. I mean, who does that? You take someone's life in cold blood and then you get it on near his body? If that's not evil, then I don't know what to call it. But anyway, Kahim, Jonathan, and Christian were the first to be arrested, and they confessed everything to the police. But drama unfolded when the cops arrested Desiree. She started screaming at the detectives and crying hysterically, saying, "I have no involvement." There's even a video of her interrogation, and you guys, it's just insane. In the video, she's handcuffed in the interrogation room and swearing that she did nothing wrong, like anyone would believe her.
I didn't do anything, no! You want to talk to me or no? Yes, but I didn't do that!
The detective tried reasoning with her, asking her to tell her side of the story so they could help her, but she demanded to talk to her dad.
You want to talk to me or no? I don't want to talk to my dad!
When all these tantrums didn't work, she decided to change tactics, claiming that she had asthma and would die if she was not taken to the hospital.
I have asthma! You're not going to die, okay? If you don't behave in here in the air-conditioned room, okay?
At some point, when she was left alone in the room, she tried breaking out of her handcuffs using screws from a nearby electrical outlet. Then, when that failed, she scratched on the table the words, "MPD, go to hell." How crazy is that? And that's not even the end of it. According to the cops, she had even shoved and headbutted a detective while she was being detained. Can you believe that? She actually thought all these tantrums would help her case, but what they did was make everything worse. She kept claiming she was innocent and had gone to relieve herself in the woods when the attack started. But her accomplices told the cops that when she got back, she complained that they had started without her. She also confessed to planning the murder with the others and luring Jose into the woods. Desiree was charged with first-degree homicide and attacking an officer. When she appeared before a judge, she had this bored look on her face and did not even flinch as the judge read her charges. She later pleaded not guilty and is currently being held without bail. Initially, the prosecutors wanted the death penalty, but later changed their minds and went for life in prison if convicted. Kahim, who the police believe was the ringleader and was actually the one who dealt the blows while the others watched, was also charged with first-degree homicide and is facing the death penalty if found guilty. His grandmother, who'd raised him since he was a boy, later said that she was shocked to learn that her grandson would commit such a terrible crime, especially because his mom had also been murdered. As a grandmother, there's no word to say. I can't describe my feelings, just despair for us and for that family. We don't understand it. As for Jonathan and Christian, they are also facing life in prison if found guilty of first-degree homicide. Joseph was the last suspect to be arrested and charged, and since he was not as nearly involved as the others, the prosecutor tried offering him a plea deal that would have meant as little as 10 years in prison if he agreed to testify against the others. But guess what he did? He refused the deal and decided to go down with his friends. So now, he's also facing up to life in prison if convicted. There have not been any more updates on this case since a judge ordered the courtrooms closed to the public and media in 2017, saying that the huge publicity of the case might jeopardize the right to a fair and impartial jury during the trial. So what we can do now is wait and hope that justice is served for Jose and his family and that these evil monsters get what's coming to them. What do you think about this case? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section.